Friday, April 26, 2019. Bitcoin bears are denied yet again, but there is still a real danger of a top formation being in place. Let's take a look at our indicators. This is the 24 hours of Bitcoin. As usual, you can read our disclaimer by pausing the video or click on a link in the description down below. Jump right into Bitcoin prices here. We see that bears were denied yet again. However, there's still a real risk of this being a top formation and prices coming down. Let's jump right over to the 4 charts. Some time ago, I drew these trend lines up underneath the prices. There was a good trend in all of them. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and Stellar US dollar. Bitcoin, however, went higher than the others when they out of this triangle. They broke down, Bitcoin went higher. Yet Bitcoin has come back and broken underneath that triangle and is now sitting underneath resistance. At the same time that Litecoin, Ethereum, and Stellar have all broken down below these triangles and are sitting below resistance. So the bull cannot continue until all of these markets get back up above these triangles and create a little bit of support up above it. If they can't do that, if they can't break higher than this resistance above them right now, then prices are going to be retracing a little bit more. So let's dig into what happened in the last 24 hours in Bitcoin. We can see that prices really took a sharp correction back. And as I was observing this, I was noticing, I sent out things to our Discord chat just as this was coming up to these breaks and saying, hey, this is, sure enough, it came down pretty hard, but immediately retraced essentially. And what I noticed here is that the volume, if we move along here, the biggest volume wasn't actually from the dump. It was right after the dump from all the panic and fear. This is when there was tons of YouTube video specialists went live to talk about the dump and how far down it was going to go and how bearish this looked. And immediately prices came way back up. So we were watching the significant trades stream, and lots of people are getting wrecked on both sides of this. So high leverage trading at these moments is really risky. When the markets are moving fast, it's really the time to be stepping back and watching. You should be setting up positions when the markets are quiet, ideally. So now we're looking at a potential top formation. Take the indicators and everything out of the chart. And all you have to do is see we have a top formation here, another top formation here that it broke down below. So we have a 1, 2, 3 top formation, and prices have come up and bounced against that and have weakened. And that is bearish just on its own right there. That's a signal for trading the market right on its own. Let's go and take a look at our indicators. Each day we go through the relative strength index, the on-balance volume, and the MACD indicator. And we've been watching this divergence for a while. It's been building and building and building, and yet it hasn't really turned into very much of anything except for some volatility inside this wedge. We'll continue to watch how that goes. Even in the 1-year view, we can see this divergence, and yet we're still seeing strength in the RSI over the longer term. So it's still conflicting data to me in the relative strength index. Now, when we go to the on-balance volume, here's that volume I was telling you about, where the dump was, some pretty good volume, but then the real volume came after that, where people are making quick decisions, perhaps in their trading right here, either dumping their stuff out of fear or jumping in because they know that it's maybe going up. Who knows? But it was a pretty volatile period of time as prices are moving along. They didn't break higher. They didn't break higher. They didn't break higher. They're weakening down, and breaking below these levels is going to, especially if we have added in on-balance volume to the negative, that's more bearish. Let's zoom out a little bit so they're not looking at just the 5-minute bars. There's that swath of volume to the downside. And overall, we're still seeing, on balance, positive volume through this whole period here, even though we had a bit of a correction. Moving back, so it may have just been a panic thing with the news. However, it is still below this top formation. That's the key thing for me. Even though I'm seeing all this stuff and I'm wanting it to be bullish, so I'm looking for that confirmational bias. I'm looking for things to confirm my bias. The 1, 2, 3 top formation is undeniable. And that it happened in more than just Bitcoin is pretty important too. I want to point out this divergence where prices are higher. We've got higher highs, but lower volume, lower positive on balance volume, which is bearish as well. Then we go to the MACD indicator. I'm going to zoom out to the 1 month view on this. Let's go to the 1 day view on this and zoom in. I'm going to pull it back a little bit just before this breakout and see what was happening here. Pretty much flat, not really stepping up much, but as prices breaking out, now we can see what this MACD indicator is doing, where it's staying spread apart, and then it's crossing here, going underneath, almost crossing, still looking pretty weak on the daily coming back here. And the reason I pulled this in is because for the last while I've been talking about May of 2016 being similar to perhaps to what we are right now, and that the breakout that they saw in May of 2016 may be similar to what we're experiencing now. So what I want to do is just point out what happened in the MACD indicator while this blast took off. So we can see here that the green line stayed above the red line all the way through this move, and we're looking at the daily charts here. So it didn't have a big pullback here that we just experienced. The green and red line came close, but then they spread apart again for the next wave up. Finally, it crossed over and came back down below the 0 line and sideways for, let's see, July, August, September, October, November. Finally, after December, it took off again. So if we are in the middle of this, there may be more to come, but after that, it could take quite a while before we're heading up. Let's go back to the present day chart. The one thing that's different is that our MACD indicator hasn't come back to the 0 line yet. So this is going to be key to watch. Where does this go from day to day now? Is this going to be continuing to go down, or is it going to cross and go up? This is going to give us the key indicator of what's going to be happening in the short term by looking at these indicators. Now, zooming in a little bit more, this still has the crossover and the negative histogram in the short term. We zoom in more, and that's pretty volatile. I don't know if that's telling me that has turnaround momentum or not. I don't see it. And when I'm zooming into the even closer terms, it's still not giving me the feeling that this is staging to move higher. It's got to move itself above these levels to be able to get that confidence out of me again. And when we go to the 4 charts, this is where I've got to see this moving in all of them, and they're all looking bearish. Moving down from here, the whole market is looking bearish for the short term. Another resource I've got linked down below in the description below this video. Somebody shared it in our Discord chat. And if you're interested, our Discord chat is down below as well. This shows the volume in the last 24 hours. And after the news came out about Bitfinex and Tether, the volume was massive. And you can see that the volume has stayed stronger after that break as we're sorting things out here too. This is a really great resource, and I hope you find that link down below helpful. That about wraps it up for today. I'm expecting lower from here in the short term. If we're testing this and we break higher, that's the only way that we can do anything positive right now. But with all 4 of these markets down below these important triangle patterns, there's some work to do before the bulls can turn this around. That's it for today. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Good luck in all of your Bitcoin trading. This is the 24 hours of Bitcoin.